Hi folks, welcome to today's Coffee with John. We're in 1 John chapter 3 and we are at verse 13. Do not be surprised, my brothers and sisters, if the world hates you. You would think they wouldn't. I mean, quite often I get comments from people which say something like, I see nothing in you which would attract people to Christ, which is not a very nice thing for a non-judgmental Christian to say. Had a couple of these recently. You know, and you take them seriously. But sometimes the premise on which they're based, that if only we were nice enough, then the world would love us because we're just reflecting Jesus. Isn't that right? Well, no, it's not right. Do not be surprised if the world hates you. Wow, why? Because the world belongs to Cain. Because the world hates Christ. They say they would like Christ, or we don't like his people, but we like Christ. But that's not true. So I was having a bit of a block, to be honest, and struggling to write some things. And then I wrote 2 articles, and I was reasonably pleased with them, put them out, and I knew they must have been effective because immediately the abuse started. Sadly, not just from non-Christians. I think over 40 years of ministry, I've come to expect that the world hates. I mean, I actually expected that since I became a Christian at school. Although, I also want to say that there are people who are attracted to Christ by the way that Christians are. But to some, we are the perfume of life, and to others, we are the stench of death. That's what Paul tells the Corinthians. But we do get surprised. I mean, have you ever found yourself going, what did I do? How did that happen? And I would say this, if you're going to follow Jesus Christ, you're going to be persecuted, and you'll be persecuted by the world. I'm going to say this, if you're going to be loyal to Christ, it's not going to be that everyone's going to go, oh, wow, what a wonderful Christian you are, if only I could be a Christian. That's not how it happens. It's not right to seek opposition. It's not right to antagonize people. But we shouldn't be surprised that when we stand for what Christ stood for, when we follow Jesus, when we stick by his word rather than going by what this world says, there's an opposition. Certainly, that's been my experience. Sometimes very bitter, but of course, I'm remotely suffered what many others have suffered, including John, including Paul, and above all, of course, including Christ. So the little that we suffer for following him is nothing compared to what he suffered us to enable us to follow him. All right, that's Friday, and we shall see you, God willing, on Monday. Bye.